Okay, students, here today in this video I'm going to make a short video on how to prove triple angle formulae. Now, if you see, there are two important formulas here. The first one is sine 3 theta, so triple angle, 3 times angle, and this is cosine 3 theta. And you see the first one is sine is written in terms of sine. So this cosine 3 theta in terms of cosine. So this 3 theta which you see here is the angle is theta, that's 1/3 of 3 theta, and the same thing. So the question is, why did this exist? And then another question is, why do we have to know this? So as we go to the next class, that is in your Calc 1, you will see, you come across integral calculus. You come across what is sine of sine cube of x dx, or it could be what is cosine cube x dx. So whenever question is asked, then you need to know in the calculus class. So for this, in the maths 189, we just need to know why this formula exists. So I'm going to start with as usual, we always start with the left. So I'll call this as the left, and using the left, can we get the right? So I'll begin with the left side, and the left side is the first one. So the left hand side is sine of 3 theta. Now we need to use, in order to achieve this goal, to figure this out, the main two formulas that we have to use is the compound angle, that is sine of a plus b, is sine a cos b plus cosine. So this is one formula we need to know, and also you need to know cosine of a plus b is cosine of a cosine of b minus. So now the question, how do we do this? So if this is a, the red color. I like to show this is the red color. The first angle, and the second angle is the blue color. So this is B, so that's B, that's B. So if this is B, this is B, and this is B. Okay, so the goal is to know, can we write this 3 theta as sum of two angles? So 3 theta can be written as, so this equals sine of, and I can split this as 3 theta is 2 theta plus theta. So there, plus theta. So the A is, if you compare this formula, A is the or I want to write it as, let's write it like this. I'm going to use the black color. So this is 2 theta, this is theta. So this is the A, and this is the B. So B stands for theta. So by using the formula, it is sine of the first, so sine of the first, then cosine plus cosine, and then sine, right? So sine A, so based on this, you see sine A, cosine B plus cosine sine A. So sine A is 2 theta, so I replace this as 2 theta and 2 theta, and the B is theta, so that's theta. Again, we have to use double angle formula. So what is double angle formula? So the double angle formula is sine 2 theta is 2 sine theta cosine theta, even though it is also 2 tan theta 1 plus tan square theta. Then we don't use this, just use sine theta. So they split this sine 2 theta as 2 sine of theta cosine of theta. This cosine theta stays the same, and this cosine theta we use again double angle formula. Now the cosine angle, again there are 3 formulas for cosine. So cosine 2 theta is cosine square theta minus sine square theta. It is also 1 minus 2 sine square theta, and it is also 2 cos square theta. So cosine 2 theta, we have 3 of them. So the one that we are going to use is this one, because you want to get everything is in sine. So let's replace this. So I will say replace this one. That is 1 minus 2 sine square theta, and the outside is the sine theta. Okay, so what else can we do is this cosine and this cosine will be cosine square. So this is 2 sine theta, cosine of theta. But this one is, because there are 2 of them, you write cosine only once, cosine, and then you put a square theta and use the right distribution. So this theta, this sine theta multiplies to 1 and then to this whole thing. So that is sine theta times 1 will give you sine of theta, and then there's a minus sign, so minus. So this minus, that's because this is already plus. So if there is a plus, so this is basically plus of sine theta times 1 is sine theta, and plus of sine theta times minus 2 sine theta, you get minus 2, and there's a sine and a sine, so this is already, this is 2 and this is 1, so altogether 3 and theta. Okay. So the question is, what else can we, at the most, what can we do? So you see this part, there is a cosine. We don't want cosine. We can use Pythagorean formula, which is sine square theta plus cosine square theta is 1. That means if I want to write cosine square theta, I can write it as 1 minus sine square theta. So that's what we are going to replace. So this is 2 sine theta. Replace this by 1 minus sine square theta. This stays the same. Okay, and then use the again distributive property. This 2 sine theta will multiply 1, and then this multiply here. So 2 times sine theta is 1, is the same, you get back the same thing. Then because of this minus, write minus 2 sine theta and sine square. So 2 will remain 2. Sine theta and sine square is sine cube theta. So this plus sign is the same, so it does not change, and the other one stays the same. Okay, and then now you combine. So you see this thing, this is 2 sine theta, this is a single sine. So both will combine to get 3 sine of theta, and that's minus 2 sine cube, and this minus 2 sine cube. So this thing together will be minus 4 sine cube theta, and you are done. So that's all, and this is the right side. Hope that helps. So the good is we need to know that sine 3 theta is 3 sine theta minus 4 sine cube theta. So let's do the second question. What is cosine 3 theta? So we do the same thing. If this is cosine theta, so first step is you write cosine of 2 theta plus theta. Okay. So as I work this out, or pause for a while, you can start working on the notebook. That in the class you can show me your work. Okay, so first step is write down sum of 2 angles, and you did that, and then you can say, okay, call this as A, and call the other one as the B, but this time we are using the cosine of, where is it? Here, cosine. So cosine of A plus B is cosine A, cosine B, minus sine A, sine B. So this will be cosine of and cosine, but now plus changes to minus times. Okay, so A is 2 theta, so this goes here, 2 theta, and B is theta, so that's theta. This time we need a formula, we need the final answer in terms of cosine. See, there's a cos here. So which among this will help? Will this help? This one had a sine square, but we have to look up for the one that has cosine. Look at it. So this could be used. This is better choice, 2 cosine square theta minus 1. So I'm going to replace cosine theta is, so this will be replaced by 2 cosine square theta minus 1. So that takes, but then you need to put a parenthesis because there's a cosine right here. Minus, now this sine 2 theta, we use double angle formula. Sine 2 theta is 2 sine theta cosine theta, and this sine theta. So just wanted to show this expansion, the red color is this part, okay? And this blue part is replaced by this. Now multiply from right side, the cosine multiply here, cosine theta, and if you multiply this, the 2 stays there. There's already cosine square and there's another one, so it becomes cosine cube theta. This cosine theta into 1 is cosine theta. Okay? Now, I'm going to do one quick steps here. This is minus 2 sine theta. Okay. Then what I do is, you see this is already cos. So, oh, I'm sorry. So there is going to be cosine. So this black cosine I'm going to write here. And this sine theta that you see, this sine theta and this sine theta together will be sine, this 2 when you multiply will be sine square theta, and that sine square theta, from using Pythagorean theta we can replace it as 1 minus cosine square theta. So you use this formula. So you replace sine square by 1 minus cosine square theta. So I'm avoiding one step here. So again I repeat, this sign and this sign is sine square, but then sine square is 1 minus cosine square, and then now you use the distributive property. This blue part to this minus 2 multiplies to 1, and then here. So 2 cosine cube theta minus cosine theta. So you get back the same thing, but 2 negatives makes it positive, and 2 and cosine theta and cosine square will be 3 of them. If you combine this, there is a, so this 2 cosine cube and this 2 cosine cubes together will become 4 cosine cube theta, and this together will give you, this is minus 1, so there's a minus 2, so minus 3 cosine and theta, which is the right side. Now the question is, how do we use this? So now that we know why this formula exists 1 and 2, and the question is, can we write cubes? So cubic, so what is sine cube? So let's see how to do that. So using, so that's the last part I'm going to show, how to write sine cube. Okay, so finally now, there's one more thing, one more step we have to do is, from 1, now that sine 3 theta, so watch this, this is sine 3 theta. First one is sine 3 theta is 3 sine theta minus 4 sine cube theta. And the other one is, the second one is cosine 3 theta is 4 cos cube theta minus 3 cosine theta. The question is, can we write this in terms of sine cube? So we want to have cubic trig identity. So I call it cubic trig identities. So what it means is you want to write sine cube. So you want to solve for this part. So if you want to do that, add this sine of cube theta both sides. So that will be 4 sine cube theta. So when you do this, this will be 4 sine cube theta. This will remain sine of 3 theta. This crosses out and you get equals 3 sine theta. Next is, I don't want this sine 3 theta. So this will be subtract sine 3 theta from here. So when you subtract, so this will go away, this will go away. You get 4 sine cube theta equals 3 sine theta minus somewhere I made a mistake. Sine 3 with this 3. Okay. 4 sine cube, 4 sine cube. 4 sine cube plus sine 3 theta equals 3 sine theta. I made a slight mistake. Let me check on. Oh, yeah, there's a mistake. So this should be 3 theta. So this is sine 3 sine theta minus 3 sine 3 theta, and then divide by 4. So when you divide this 3 is not there, so that's where I messed up. So you're subtracting this minus sine 3 theta, the opposite of this, and that's what we get, and we get this goes away. You eventually get sine cube theta is 1/4 of, or you can write this 4 is like 1/4 of this 3 sine theta minus sine 3 theta, and you're done. So that means in the calculus class you may have what is sine cube of x dx. So you're supposed to write this same integral of 1/4 of this part, 3 sine x minus sine 3x, and you're going to work on it, get the answer. Same thing what you do here is saying, let's add plus 3. In this case I'll add plus 3 cosine theta. So this is cosine 3 theta. So cross this out and you get 4 cos cube, so that stays. This is easy, 4 cos cube theta, and I'm going to write this one as cis theta, because you are adding this, right? So it becomes adding 3. So it is cos 3 theta plus 3 cosine theta. And then the cos cube becomes equal, so divide by 2. So this divide by 4, you get cosine cube. Cosine cube theta is 1/4 of I'll put this first, 3 cosine theta, and then this one plus cosine 3 theta. Okay, and you're done. Watch this. So they're almost the same. They both have the 1/4, so that's a good thing, is 1/4 here. And if it is sine cube, this 3 goes up here. See, it's the same thing. This is the 3, there is a 3 right here. And you use the same 3 sine, and the only difference is for sine there is a minus, but here there is a plus. And then there is a sine 3 theta, and this is cosine theta. Easy to remember. That's all I wanted to show. And it looks like so many formulas are being used here. So hope that helps. So the next video we're going to see is y. We are going to use y. Sine inverse of x, cosine inverse of x is pi by t. So that's what, and even cosecant inverse of x, and secant inverse is pi by 2, and tan inverse of, so that's my next video. We'll see why this is this one. We'll also see y sine inverse of x, plus cosine inverse of x is sine inverse of x and sine inverse of y is sine inverse of x root 1 minus y square plus y root 1 minus x square. So this we'll see in the next video. Plus, if whatever, if it is minus, then it is minus. Then you also see sine, cosine inverse of x plus cosine inverse of y. We'll see y is cosine inverse of xy minus root 1 minus x squared 1 minus y squared. So that's my next video. So it's always better to know all these ideas. See you, thank you. And remember, practice is the best teacher. Because when I see sometimes in the class, you guys get confused, I'm making this video so that it stays with you. You can watch it and get a hang of it, get used to this. What is double angle formula, half angle formulas, Pythagorean formula, triple angle formula, compound angle formula, and everything is connected in the universe. Thanks for watching. Keep watching, and remember, my goal here for this video that I make is just to make sure we understand the concept, why and how the formula exists. That's what I'm trying to say do all the time.